like poles repel each other. What does that mean? What does it mean when I say like poles repel each other?
Ma'am, it means that the like poles means if we put south pole and south pole together, they will not attract to each other. They will actually repel each other, means they will run away from each other.
Excellent. Yes. They will move away from each other. Very good. What else? What does that, ma'am? It changes to north and south pole every 250 years. Yes, that is right. It does change from north to south pole every 250 years. Okay, good job. All right. So, what do I mean when I say unlike poles attract each other?
North and south attract each other. May I say? So north and south attract each other, and north and north repel each other.
Okay, what about south and south?
Yes, ma'am. Even south and south, and even south and north also attract each other, and south and south repel each other.
Excellent, very good. Yes, Pragya, do you want to say? Yeah, it can magnetize another piece of iron when rubbed several times in one direction. So what does this mean?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, tell me. What do I mean when I say it can magnetize another piece of iron when rubbed several times in one direction? So what he's saying is that if I take a magnet and I rub it on a metal iron piece, okay, and I rub it in a particular direction, then it gets magnetized. It transfers its magnetic properties onto the iron.
Ma'am,
Pragya,
so it's basically making a magnetic substance into a magnet.
yes, that is correct. Yes, Pragya, go ahead. What is your explanation?
Now I wanted to say that when we rub a magnet on a magnetic object, then only it will become a temporary magnet, or else it will not. And ma'am, also that most metals are magnetic, but all of them are not. So magnetic objects are mostly metals, but not all of them.
Okay, very good. So the important point over here is you can't simply take a magnet and rub it on a piece of iron and make it magnetic. Okay, the important point is you have to rub it in a particular direction several times. Okay, so if I rub it once in one direction and then rub it the opposite direction the second time, then it is, it is not going to be magnetic. All right.
Ma'am, what will be the reason for that?
The reason for that is what happens. Let me show you. Let me draw it and show it to you. Okay, so it can magnetize another piece of iron when rubbed several times in one direction. So why is it that if I take, let's say I take this piece, okay, and then I say that, and assume or imagine that this pen is a magnet, and I rub this piece one direction this time, I'm sorry, one time in this direction, and then I take the same magnet and I rub it in the other direction. It's not going to magnetize this. It has to be in the same direction. So why does that happen? That is because inside, let's say this is a piece of iron. Okay. So inside this piece of iron, there are lots of electrons. Okay. What are electrons? You must be asking me. So electrons are basically very small, tiny particles that are negatively charged. Okay. So these tiny particles, they spin. Okay. They spin in a particular direction. And when I rub a magnet, let's say in this direction, then what happens? All these electrons, they start spinning in one direction. All the electrons of the iron piece start spinning in one direction. When they start spinning in one direction, what happens? That iron piece also becomes a magnet, temporary magnet. If I did not have this magnet, if I did not rub any magnet on that iron piece, then what is happening is all these electrons are spinning in random directions. They are not spinning in one particular direction. They are spinning in all random directions, which is why it does not have any magnetic properties. But When I rub a piece of iron in this direction, all the electrons spin in one particular direction. So this becomes magnetic. What happens if I take that same magnet and then I rub it on the opposite side? Then what happens is all the magnets that were initially spinning in that direction will start spinning in the other direction. Some of them will continue to spin in the previous direction. Some of them will spin in the opposite direction, and again it will again be completely random. So it will not get magnetized. So that is why you need to magnetize. The only way to magnetize a piece of metal is by rubbing the magnet in one particular direction several times.